Welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're digitally unboxing the py-16, a Python-powered 16-bit fantasy console. If you absolutely love the strict, pixel-perfect aesthetics of 90s hardware, but you still want the modern conveniences of Python, you're going to love what we're looking at today.
Here's our digital manual for today. We'll kick things off by welcoming you to the console. Pop the hood to check out the 16-bit specs and APIs, and explore the built-in retro visual magic. Then, we'll tour the Developer Studio, unpack the crazy PDF Cartridge Revolution, and finally, check out some real games and operating systems. Let's dive in.
Section 1. Welcome to the py-16 console. Nostalgia meets Python.
So, what exactly is Fantasy Console? Basically, it's a virtual machine that perfectly simulates the strict hardware limitations of classic retro consoles. It gives you those warm, fuzzy constraints of the past, but it's entirely powered by modern Python. It's a focused environment completely free from modern bloat, letting you just dive in and build something incredibly fun.
Just listen to these authentic 16-bit era specs. We're talking a classic 256 by 224 resolution running at a buttery-smooth 60 frames per second. You've got 256 freely assignable colors, enough memory for over 1,000 8x8 sprites, and a robust 8-channel sound system. It's literally the perfect canvas for pure, pixel-perfect nostalgia.
Moving on to Section 2, 16-bit specs and APIs, the engine under the hood.
The API here is elegantly structured. It gives you direct, low-level control over your pixels and inputs, plus a camera system that supports 4-player split screen straight out of the box. You get standard graphics functions to draw your shapes, dedicated commands for rendering sprites and tile maps, and immediate input reading for both your keyboard and mouse. It basically keeps the barrier to entry super low while pushing the creative ceiling incredibly high. And the audio engine? It goes incredibly deep. You aren't just playing simple sounds, you're actually synthesizing them using ADSR envelopes and live pulse width modulation. You get 64 sound effect patch slots to play with. Oh, and you can even load in actual audio clips up to 256 kilobytes, which lets you use the engine exactly like a classic hardware sampler.
Section 3. Built-in retro visual magic, expanding the 16-bit horizon.
If you spent your childhood playing Super Mario Kart or F-Zero, you are gonna immediately recognize this. The py-16 includes 4 independent map layers, just like the Super Nintendo's background planes. But the real kicker is the built-in Mode 7 effect. It projects your 2D tile maps right onto a perspective distorted ground plane that realistically fades out into the distance. It's pure magic. And check out these post-processing helpers. They distort the finished frame buffer directly, mimicking classic HDMA scanline distortion. With literally just a single line of code, you can add swaying flags, TV static, a glowing boss aura, or even breathing whole-screen pinches. It applies all of this to everything on your screen, completely effortlessly.
Combine that with a roaring, fast particle engine, and your visual possibilities absolutely explode. The py-16 can render up to 2,000 simultaneous physics-based particles, think fire, smoke, and sparks, running at over 200 frames per second. Plus, it natively supports SNES-style color math, so you get additive, subtractive, and alpha blending right from the get-go.
All right, Section 4, your complete developer studio, frictionless creation.
Here's the wild part. The entire development studio is embedded directly inside the console. This means you can edit your sprites, tweak your multi-layer maps, and write Python code right at runtime. Just hit the function keys to seamlessly swap between the sprite editor, map editor, audio tracker, and code editor. You can even hit F9 to recompile your code live without restarting the game. And F12? That's your universal escape hatch right back to the BIOS.
Now, if you want to take this off your desktop, you can turn any Raspberry Pi into a dedicated, instant booting hardware console with just 4 simple steps. You configure auto login, add a single line to your bash profile to run the engine, tweak the vsudo config so it can reboot without a password, and turn on true full screen in the config file. Boom! You've got a standalone arcade machine ready for your living room TV.
Section 5. The PDF Cartridge Revolution, hiding code in plain sight.
This is probably my absolute favorite feature. A py-16 cart isn't just some standard ROM file, it's a literal readable PDF booklet that the engine can natively boot up and play. When you save your game, it exports a single file containing your cover art, the manual, your sprite sheets, and a base 64 encoded Python script that actually launches the game.
Now, this incredible flexibility naturally begs a very serious security question.
If a cartridge is literally just a Python script embedded inside a PDF, are py-16 carts actually safe to run?
Please pay close attention to this warning straight from the docs. You must treat these PDF carts exactly like raw Python scripts downloaded from the internet. There's zero sandbox here. A malicious cart can do anything Python can do. It could read your local files, access the network, or even turn on your microphone. So always load unverified carts into the code editor first using F6, read through the script, and only execute it if you fully trust it.
Finally, Section 6. Games and Operating Systems, the Arcade Showcase.
Assuming you do trust the cart, what are people actually building? Well, take the py-16 casino cart, for example. It packs 5 distinct games, like roulette and blackjack, and comes with a beautifully formatted manual in 5 different languages. It's all natively embedded in the file, complete with a dynamic day and night cycle and a full achievement system.
This brilliantly highlights the duality of the py-16. On one hand, you get a gorgeous, polished PDF cover to present to the player, but on the other, it's powered entirely by raw, unsandboxed Python code churning behind the scenes. It seamlessly bridges that gap between a consumer-facing retro booklet and raw, unrestricted developer access.
And it's not just solo games. The engine supports 4-player couch co-op right out of the box. Games like Tux Adventure Gemini take full advantage of this, proving the engine is perfectly suited for complex local multiplayer sessions. It automatically maps your USB gamepads and supports robust viewport splitting so you can easily set up a classic GoldenEye-style split screen.
But wait, the engine extends way beyond gaming. Someone literally built a miniature operating system cartridge. The py-16 OS cart features a fully functional window manager, right-click context menus and drag-and-drop support. It even has 7 built-in apps like Paint and an audio player, plus a robust plug-in system where you can just drop Python files into a folder to add your own custom extensions.
So it leaves you wondering, with an engine this insanely versatile and a format this unique, what amazing retro creation are you going to code next? I mean, if a simple 16-bit PDF can hold an entire operating system, a multi-game casino, and a complete Python developer suite, the only limit here is your imagination. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy coding.